Ms. Lee of California.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The gentlelady is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Last year, and I guess also nearly 2 years ago, and really for many of our lives, we've known that there is a poverty crisis in America which is growing. I think what we saw after the terrible hurricanes was that this gap, of course, is widening between the haves and the have-nots. And it is not only in the Gulf Coast region, it's throughout our country. While the hurricanes, especially Hurricane Katrina, exposed the disparity for all to see, the fact is poverty is not just isolated to the Gulf Coast. It does exist throughout our nation. So, Madam Speaker, I rise today to talk about the fact that, and to remind the country that our land really should be a land of opportunity. But the sad reality is that income inequality continues to grow, and more people are falling into poverty than getting ahead. We are heading in the wrong direction, and we need a national commitment to address the growing poverty crisis in the nation. That's why this week's release of a report by the Center for American Progress entitled From Poverty to Prosperity, a national strategy to cut poverty in half. This is a significant contribution to the efforts of anti-poverty activists and it's a valuable roadmap for concerned lawmakers like all of us are. The report found that not only is poverty in the United States bad, it's getting worse. Just consider the fact, over 37 million Americans, more than the population of my home state, are in poverty, and the number has grown by 5 million since the Bush administration took office. 1 in 8 Americans now live in poverty. Poverty in the United States is far higher than in many other developed nations, and poverty and inequality, of course, here is at an all-time high. The richest 1% of Americans in 2005 held the largest share of the nation's income since 1929, and at the same time, the poorest 20% held only 3.4% of the nation's income. The report's recommendations are based on 4 principles: promoting decent work, promoting opportunity for all, ensuring economic security, and helping people build wealth. Based on these principles, the report offers 12 steps, which include raising the minimum wage and indexing it to inflation, expanding the earned income and children's tax credits, promoting unionization by making it easier for employees to vote to join a union, offering child care assistance for low-income families, guaranteeing early education for all, and providing 2 million people with opportunity housing vouchers. Madam Speaker, you may have noticed that the new Democratic Congress has taken steps toward enacting these recommendations. Additionally, many of my colleagues have been advocating for related poverty alleviation issues and ideas and strategies through the Out of Poverty Caucus that I founded along with my colleagues, Congressman John Conyers, Congressman Butterfield, Congressman Mike Honda, and Congressman Joe Baca. In the same vein, I have also introduced a comprehensive package of poverty elimination legislation. These 3 bills are designed to create leadership, accountability, and a national reevaluation of our economic priorities in developing policies to eliminate poverty in our nation. The first bill, H.Con. Res. 19, calls on President Bush to submit to Congress a plan. This is just a plan, mind you, to eradicate poverty by 2015. The second bill, H.Con. Res. 10, requires accountability from Congress by requiring the Congressional Budget Office to report the poverty impact of legislation pending before Congress, similar to environmental impact statements. The final bill, H.R. 352, demands a reevaluation of our priorities by rolling back tax cuts for the wealthiest 5% and dedicating the funds to poverty elimination programs. Madam Speaker, fighting poverty really isn't a mystery. It's just not a priority for us, and it's time to make it a national priority. It just requires us to make a commitment to the goal of eliminating poverty and then dedicate the resources to do that. So I urge my colleagues to join me in this important fight by reading the report, first of all, and co-sponsoring these bills and joining the Out of Poverty Caucus. Thank you, and I yield the balance of my time.